Sebring International Raceway, a World War II training base for B-70 bombers that has carved its name large in the annals of motorsport. The home of the World Endurance Championship in North America. For over 60 years, the challenge that is Sebring has been taken by some of the biggest names in the world of motorsport. The track surface, from concrete to asphalt and back again, is part of the challenge. The long dark days of winter are over and we celebrate the spring with the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Divided into two distinct classes, gold for cars up to 2009 and platinum for those from then to now, plus a separate Masters class for those drivers who have more experience of life as well as racing. The anatomy of a GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama weekend is simple. Two 45-minute races, grid positions decided by a single qualifying session. Your best lap gives you your grid position in the first race, second best lap in the second. And last year, rookie Sean Johnson clinched the championship and used that to parlay his way into the Carrera Cup in Germany. To do well there is often a fast track to Porsche Works driver status. Madison Snow, a former teammate to Johnson, is using this year as a calling card to try and prove his potential and show what this series and he has to offer. Michael Mills of Effort Racing isn't giving up either. His team's just got bigger, adding Sloane Urry from True Speed and a newcomer, Ashley Freiberg, who's come from Open Wheel. She's looking to perfect her craft in the Platinum class. Angel Benitez Jr. is a former Gold class winner. This year he's switched teams to NGT Motorsport and he's trying to realise his potential. Moving up to Platinum, he's clinched pole in qualifying to start the season off in style. Quite a long race this, Jeremy, and there will be some elements of tyre management here because you can set these cars up to how the drivers like, and some people set that up for the beginning of the race and trying to make the best of the new tyres, some for the end. These are big, heavy, powerful cars as we come to start the 2013 season. The IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama is green.
It is, and a good start there from the pole position by Angel Benitez Jr. But Madison Snow on the outside, he tried to make a deep move into turn one, wasn't able to pull it off, tucked in behind in second place. They head toward turn three.
And the pole sitter in the middle of the road there, diving up the inside. There is the 46 car that we talked about earlier on. That's Brett Sandberg of the True Speed Motorsports. That red and yellow car, fantastic colour scheme. He's just slipped up into third place.
And Brett Sandberg, he's another guy who will be driving in the main race on Saturday in the Mobil 1 12 Hours Fueled by Fresh from Florida. He will be driving in that main race as well, so getting some good seat time here this afternoon.
And already an issue, and that's a little bit further back down the field, coming out of turn number 4, and it looked like just avoiding the bridge abutment there for one of the white cars further back down the field. That might have been Marco Cerrone in the 88 car.
Oh, there's a bunch of white cars.
Yeah, there's a few people who haven't got the sponsorships quite so. Oh, I'm going to go for Phil Fogg, actually, in the 44.
He was one of the contenders. If it was Phil, he was one of the contenders. I don't know. It's certainly in the Masters category, Phil's been one of the quickest guys this week so far. A wheel onto the dirt there, the exit of turn 10 for our race leader. Is that going to give Madison Snow an opportunity to get onto terms?
Just about a Porsche and a half between the leading two, and Benitez Jr. definitely feeling the heat there as he defends in the middle of the road. Perfectly allowable, of course. He's not moving over, but he's saying, listen, Madison, if you want to come through, I'm not going to make it easy for you. They're on the back straight, the Ullman straight, for the first time. Time race, of course, this for the Porsches. And 45 minutes will elapse before we see the checkered flag. It looks like the poleman, indeed it is the poleman who's been very handy on the brakes indeed. Madison Snow in second place is now under pressure from Brett Sandberg in the True Speed Motorsports 46 in third. Right in there as well, Effort Racing, that blue, very Distinctive blue coming. Michael Mills goes down the inside of turn 1. It's a very risky manoeuvre and he can't make it pay off and has to drop back in behind. But he has spooked third place driver Brett Sandberg, who went very wide. He's on the dirt and now he can't defend with those dirty Yokohama tyres. They have great grip, but not when they're covered with Sebring sand. And through to a new third place goes the Effort Racing Porsche of Michael Mills.
And Michael Mills, he started off his season here last year very well, driving for this team. He had a third place in the first race. He won the second race here 1 year ago. Angel Benitez Jr. leading the race. He won last year's Gold Club class for the slightly older cars, and he won 11 out of the 15 races 1 year ago.
Oh, as at the start of the Ullman Straight, there's an issue there for the 98 car, and that is John Goetz in the MGM Racing Machine, who has just overdone it slightly as he was coming through what is the effectively the Le Mans bend, isn't it, onto the Jean de Bienne bends onto the Ullman Straight. And he has got that car pointing back in the right direction. First, second and third, pretty much equidistant. Battle slightly further down the field. That's Ashley Freiberg in the 51 car. And behind her is Sloan Urry. So I did say teammates in name only. They share an awning. But effectively battling for their own personal positions down the field there. Ashley, as Jeremy said earlier, with a single-seater background behind, transitioning into these much heavier sports cars and making a pretty good fist of it. Very quick out the box early in the week here at Sebring for the first round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Headed the first practice session times, which were in quite difficult conditions actually. It hasn't been this beautiful Florida sunshine that we've had today all this week. There was a bit of rain earlier on and people having to dial themselves in. Sorry, Jeremy.
You know, she's still only 21 years of age, is Ashley Freiberg, and they sat out a year just a couple of seasons ago completely. So, you know, making a comeback last year in the open wheel ranks, but she's really taken to these cars very nicely. I think that's Craig Durson.
It is indeed.
Putting a wheel off again at the outside of turn 13. So a lot of people, it's very easy to try and get a bit overconfident in turn 13, trying to carry a bit too much speed. You run it, runs you wide onto the exit, onto the sand there, and you lose a lot of momentum.
You may notice the big Hertz banners on the top of the windscreens as well. Came into the championship, last year now? And I have to say it was very difficult to walk past the Porsche Boxster that was ready for hire at the airport as I was coming down here, but I was pushed on past it by the responsible adult who wasn't prepared to pay the upgrades. But Porsche's featuring
next life.
Yes, next life. Porsche's featuring at many Hertz premium areas now for rental, from Boxster all the way up to Panamera and Cayenne.
So the two race leaders, Angel Benitez still leads in car number 25 over number 62 of Madison Snow. About 1.5 seconds between those two. They are the fastest cars on the track, a 2:08.2. 2 minutes 08.2 seconds, both guys last time around. Madison was just a scant couple of hundredths slower on that particular lap, but they've edged out about another almost 1.7 seconds over Michael Mills in third place.
A third of the way into the opening round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. John Hindhaugh and Jeremy Shaw watching the action. And it's been a very intense battle that has seen Angel Benitez Jr., Madison Snow and Michael Mills as the leading three pull away a little bit from a cracking battle from positions 4th really down to 8th. Looking further down through the field, Colin Thompson in the bright orange car there. Oh, and off has gone the 26 of Carlos Gomez, the Colombian NGT motorsport driver in the Axis of Oversteer Capital Manager's car. And that was a mistake at turn 2 that will cost him position. But there is the bright orange. It looks great in Viper Orange, this new or current GT3 car, but a position about to be lost, I'm afraid, as Amedo Queiroz goes down the inside into the hairpin. Classic manoeuvre, but look, fighting back side by side. This is GT3 Cup action at its very best. You just can't get the drive when you're on the grass.
Colin Thompson then at car number 14, he loses the place now, I think, going up towards turn 10, but he was making a great challenge there. Colin Thompson, he's another youngster, another teenager moving across from open wheel racing.
This is back at the head of the field, and there is a bit of pressure now as Madison Snow 4-wheel drifts through turn number 1. That's good. gorgeous stuff.
And Benitez must have made a big mistake somewhere around that last lap, because he did have a lead of over 2 seconds. Well, his last lap time was at 2 minutes 10.6. He lost all of that 2 seconds, presumably with one big moment somewhere. And as you say there, Madison Snow is now hot on his heels.
Beep, beep, beep in Madison Snow's ears. Target acquired there, and he is really now revved up as they go down towards the hairpin. And even though the leader, Angel Benitez Jr., has seemed to have recovered his composure from whatever misfortune, he's under supreme pressure as Colin Thompson goes through and takes the position we were talking about earlier on. And that means that Peter Collins has just dropped back one. So that is that change of position as we were watching them earlier on. And there is the 14 car of Colin Thompson. And this is by no means over as they're battling down the field and trying to get some important points at the start of the season. Really important to get that season off to a good start.
In the series, there again is the battle for the lead. Once more coming into turn one, nothing between the two of them, less than, not even a half a Porsche length going through turn one. And again, it's Madison Snow here who is really putting Benitez under pressure. These two, they are the gold class champions of the last 2 years, and now they're battling for the lead of the race overall in the platinum class cars.
And you'd expect these two to be at the end of the season, Jeremy, when we're talking about these guys. You'd expect these two, we'd be doing count back. We'll be starting to wonder who's going to be doing what from about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the season. I think you're looking here at what we're going to be treated to for the whole of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama season, to be honest. These are two young chargers who are, if you like, serving their apprenticeship. This is old-fashioned language that I'm using, but that's exactly what's happening here, and it's a great way to go GT racing.
That's exactly what they're doing. And you know, Sean Johnson, who won this championship last year, he's not had an opportunity this year to go over to Europe to race in the European Super Cup, the Super Cup Porsche Series in Europe, and he will be racing over there this year. And there's another youngster from the open wheel ranks here. He got an opportunity also to drive with Porsche in the German Carrera Cup, Conor De Filippi. So, you know, there's all sorts of opportunities for these drivers to move on with their racing careers, and that's what these guys have in mind.
Great to see the Momo name as well on the Porsche GT3 Cup cars this year. And indeed the leader with a little more Momo than most at the moment. A name that's been involved synonymously with racing down the years as the leaders are into lap traffic now. And this is where concentration has to play out. Going down into turn 17. Angel Benitez Jr. slightly offline maybe as he went into that. Will that compromise as they come through? He's dragged the Porsche back to the apex on turn 17. And Madison Snow, still only just old enough to have a driver's license to drive on the road, remember, started his racing career before he was street legal, goes to the outside to turn number one and will try and cut back to the driver's left and get position into turn two. But it looks like Benitez has covered that manoeuvre and is very quick through turn one.
He's looking to the outside now again. Benitez are really having to be defensive there down into turn three, keeping to the inside line to make sure there's no way through for Madison Snow. So Madison is really having to think about this. Okay, he's probably a little bit quicker, I think, at this stage of the race because Benitez is pretty much driving on his mirrors, but can he find a way past? It's easier said than done.
Moving into the last third of the race, just over 16 minutes of the 45 still to run here at Sebring for the opening round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, and this is the lead battle. They came off the line in first and second positions, and they're first and second now, separated by barely a 9/11's length as they head out onto the far side of this historic Sebring circuit. And Angel Benitez Jr., pole sitter, defending now from the second place of Madison Snow. And these two have blown the rest of the field away. Good battles right the way through the platinum and the gold category. Now all working through traffic as lap traffic will be... Oh, where's Snow gone? Snow's dropped away just a little bit. And there's a problem. Has he got a puncture?
Yeah, I think he might have.
Has he got some kind of tyre problem, or did he just have too much right foot? Because he was very sideways. Everything looks to have air in. The Yokohama tyres doing their job there.
There's some smoke coming out of there from the back of that car from somewhere.
Oh, he's got damage on the front. He's got damage on the right front just beside the toe link. And I wonder if he's hit the back of Benitez and he's caused himself some radiator damage and he's running on his own fluid.
He could be. It could be the exhaust protrude a little bit out of the back of these cars, don't they? And if you get too close and you just get into the back of the car in front of you, you can easily puncture those radiators. Looks like he's making his way toward the pit lane.
Cracking battle for third just behind that, and here that comes, led by the 41 of Michael Mills. That may become second if Benitez goes into the pits, and he is doing. If Snow goes in the pits, excuse me.
Yeah, and again, this is a kind of a deja vu for young Madison Snow. He started off the season poorly with a DNF last year in race 1.
And off is the 0-3.
Ouch.
Oh, my goodness me. That's a big hit. That's Anthony Mantella, the Toronto native, the Speed Merchants Suncoast Porsche car. And there's more than one involved there, Jeremy, as they've come out onto the back straight at speed. And on the far side of the circuit, oh dear, don't like to see this. Somebody running across the road, opening the door. Now, is this remonstration or help that's been given here? I've got a feeling it's the former. There's a big shunt there, and that may well see the Porsche safety car deployed. Both drivers out of the car. In fact, it was help, not remonstration, that was being given, I'm pretty certain. With a bit of a fire to the right rear of that car. And with 13 minutes to go, inevitably, the safety car has been deployed. So the Porsche Panamera safety car continues to lead around the field after that two-car incident at the start of the Ulmann Straight that brought it out with just under 10 minutes to go. There is your leader, Angel Benitez Jr., his father, one of the two cars, both drivers out of the car under their own steam, by the way, and has moved on. Anthony Mantella, the second car, and Benitez Sr. dashing across the track to offer assistance very sportingly to the second car involved in that incident. Second place then will be, at the moment, Michael Mills. Third, the 46 of Brett Sandberg for True Speed Motorsports. Privacy Star sponsored machine. Then Ashley Freiberg in the second of the Effort Racing cars. That's the very distinctive marbled blue machines. And with now just 3 minutes to go and a lot of clear up still to do, it seems very likely, Jeremy Shaw, that the race may well end under caution, and that will confirm then Ashley Freiberg, if that happens, in 4th position in her first GT car race.
Certainly a great result for her, but certainly not the way either that anybody wants this race to finish, would be under the caution period, under the caution flags. But you know, a great drive certainly by the race leader, a super drive by Ashley there in 4th place. You know, it's not an easy move there to go from open wheel cars to closed wheel cars, and particularly something like the Porsche, because you know, these cars are difficult to drive. You talked about it earlier on, John, all the weighted over the back wheels. They certainly weren't very well balanced these days. The new 997 machines are a lot better balanced, I think, than a lot of the forerunners of these cars, but there's still a very different driving style that's required to get the most out of them. She has done a fine job.
So after that incident, with around about 10 minutes to go, we finish the first round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama at Sebring under full course caution. And Angel Benitez Jr. takes the top step of the podium ahead of, in 2nd place, Michael Mills. And in 3rd, it was Brett Sandberg, with a credible mention going to 1st off the podium, Ashley Freiberg, in her first, not only her first Porsche Cup race, but her first closed cockpit car race, and that is clearly then marking her out, Jeremy, as someone that we've got to watch for the rest of the season. Confirming the gold category then, with Michael leading it in the 36 car, going across the line there now. Michael Levitas from David Williams and RJ Lopez in 3rd position. There are the teammates. A good day for TPC in the gold category, and an even better one for NGT, with Angel Benitez Jr. taking the win. Well, if that's the first race of the season, and it is, I can't wait for the rest of the year. The first round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama has been run here at Sebring. For Jeremy Shaw, I'm John Hindhaugh. Thanks very much for being with us. Madison Snow in the red and white Porsche 62 on the left-hand side as they were coming down to us, our left at least. Driver's left, I should say, as they come down to the start finish line. Changed the camera twice since I started that. Green flag, and we're racing for round 2 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Madison Snow's trying to hang on to pole position, will have to defend into turn number 1 as Angel Benitez Jr. in the NGT Motorsports car tries to go around the outside, and already there's incident at the back of the field. The 99 car involved there has gone around and taken out 1, 2, 3 other cars, and there's more incidents there. One of the Effort Motorsport cars involved. Now,
Slow hurry.
I think that was about to say, I think that was a 20 car. So we're going to see, I think, intervention from the safety car early on. The good news at the front of the field is that Madison Snow and the 25 of Angel Benitez Jr. for the NGT Motorsport team have got away down the inside. Passing manoeuvre there by the 26 of Carlos Gomez, another NGT runner. They have a huge and very professional organisation running multiple entries in this race. Here's the clear up starting. 14 was in there as well. That's Colin Thompson. He was having a great race yesterday. It looks like 4 cars involved in that. The 99, Patrick Otto Madsen, who raced up through the field for IMSA Motorsports yesterday. As we go, Jeremy, full course caution. Yeah, shame. Colin Thompson, one of the youngsters involved in that accident as well. He's had no luck at all this weekend. Shame for him. He's another talented guy who's got a great attitude and I think a good future ahead of him as well. But I was watching Ashley Freiberg at the first corner. Car number 51, the basically blue car, a lot of damage. So that's one of the NGT cars, I think, isn't it? That's the Madsen car. Yeah, Ashley Freiberg tried to go around the outside of her teammate Michael Mills at the first corner. I don't think he was having any of that, so she tucked back into 4th place. But a very aggressive start by Ashley Freiberg. Green flag is in hand. Madison Snow controlling the pace of the field through the final corner here at Sebring, and now gets the hammer down coming out of 17 to see the green flag flying. That's a great start by the youngster. He's got 2 lengths by the start finish line and will pick the racing line, the optimum line, into turn 1. He will, and he'll lead the team field through there. Andres Benitez tucking into 2nd place. Michael Mills in 3rd. Ashley Freiberg still in 4th place, right there in contention, and Eduardo Cisneros right behind them as well. And Miles Moroney coming under attack in a battle for 6th and 7th. That's Craig Jurson looking to the inside at turn 3. Saw Sloan Hurry in the blue 20 Effort racing car making up a position into turn 1 on the restart as well. He got bumped down a bit, so he's in knocking on the door of the top 10 at least in that very beautiful Effort racing colour there, the blue sort of marbled cars, as the leaders are down into turn 7, the hairpin. Madison Snow then holding on, didn't have to defend too much there, hit his braking points. Benitez follows through in the wheel tracks. Then it's Mills and Freiberg, 2 of the Effort racing cars, and a little gap opening up back to Cisneros, Moroney, Craig Jewison, the best of the Masters. That's Jewison to the inside there, the 27. That's a lovely overtake. Came from a long way back, but made his intention very clear. Beautiful pass, yes. He put that car to the inside, braked nice and deep and late clean, was absolutely alongside under braking on the inside. No way there that Cisneros could turn into the corner, because Craig Jewison was already filling that piece of asphalt. He's got a lot of experience around here, around this track at Sebring. He's racing with the Skip Barber School for close on 20 years. I don't think he wants to admit that, but he has. And so he knows all about driving cars around this racetrack. Completely different cars, of course, at the Skip Barber Racing School, but everything that you learn there can apply to just about anything. And Jurson now, I think, up into 5th place. Yeah, and if you look up textbook overtake, there is a little clip of video of that we've just seen. That was perfect. You'd use that in a school day. Looks like Ashley Freiberg's just having to defend a little bit from Craig Jewison, as we've got side-by-side action here in the 45 of Michael Moroney having to defend from that very, very pleasingly Momo coloured 29 car behind him.
Yeah, Michael's his dad. It's Miles driving the car. Yeah,
Miles, yes.
Yeah, don't give Michael ideas. He might want to do this as well. He's an accomplished lawyer, is Michael Moroney, and young Miles was a bit of a star in karting. Did some racing in F2000. He's really not raced much over the last couple of years, but still a teenager, and he's really got his sights on setting a goal for himself now, of moving up into the American Le Mans Series.
And isn't it great to see young, talented road racing drivers making the decision early that single-seater racing, open-wheel racing is maybe not for them. I want to race at Le Mans in the American Le Mans Series, and what better way to do it than Porsche, who are synonymous with long distance and endurance racing.
Yeah, absolutely right. The champion in this series last year, Sean Johnston, he's just into his very early 20s. Last year was his very first season of racing. He won this championship very impressively. This year he's going to race in Europe, and he's certainly got the eyes of Porsche Motorsports on him, as well as he's going to race this year in the Super Cup in Europe.
Meantime, this battle continues, and Benitez has sneaked through into the lead there, and that's a change of position. That is a change of position. Angel Benitez then leads from Madison Snow, and still in third place is Michael Mills. Freiberg just trying to close the gap a little bit, has shaken off the attentions of Craig Durson.
Benitez did the double here last year also at Sebring International Raceway, but that was in the Gold Cup class for the older cars, for the cars up to 2009 specification. Now stepping up into the Platinum class, the newer cars for this year. And what a super job he is doing. A great win yesterday. Lights to flag win. He made one mistake, well, a little bit less than halfway through, and that allowed Madison Snow to get on terms with him. Then they had a bit of a battle, and unfortunately Madison Snow just tapped the rear of Benitez's car, punctured his radiator. That put Snow out of the race, and Snow was looking good here in the early stages, but that was a good pass clearly by Andres Benitez, even though we didn't see it. But he's made that move. He's out in front now, and Benitez is going to try and put a little bit of daylight between himself and that pursuing number 62 car.
Looking at the battle there for 4th, 5th and 6th, with the Effort Motorsport 51 leading that trio. Meantime, everyone else further. And there is the recovering car that we talked about early on. That Sandberg up from 32nd to 22nd in the space of a couple of green flag laps. Well, you called it, Jeremy, that yellow and red car. You said he had some speed in it. My goodness me, he's made up 10 positions in a little over 10. Oh, and a touch. Oh, that is not great driving there from the 23. Harry Kraut, and he's taken John Goetz over. Oh my goodness me, look at that. The 98's in there as well. And that is going to be another full course caution. In fact, that may be a red flag. The door is open on the 59 car, which has gone over. That's Jim Hoddington. And well, he's out already. That's good news. Very unusual to see a car go over in this type of racing. And Jim Hoddinott, the Speed Merchants 59 car, has gone over. It was started by the 98 and the 23. The 98 being the John Goetz MGM racing car, who was tapped into a slide by the 23 car of Harry Kraut, one of the NGT machines. And there's someone else with an issue, and that's the Kelly Moss racing car. That's the 69. It's all gone potty. 68, excuse me, that's Wayne Ducote in the Kelly Moss Motorsports car.
And he was up in the top 12, was Wayne Ducote.
It's all gone bonkers. Well, let's pick the bones out of this. Here's that original incident. Watch the 23 car here, Jeremy. Yeah. And Harry gets turned around. But watch what happens next. The red and white car coming through just gets clipped right over the left-hand wheel, and it flips the car over.
Yeah, and he hit the left front wheel of the other car that was almost stationary at the same time as he was leaping over the curb. That's really what tipped it into the roll there. Just the combination of hitting the curb, which already put the car, made the right front of the car really light, and then it sort of kind of vaulted over the top of the front of the other car as well. A very scary accident.
Watch this in real time as the 59 Jim Hoddinott Speed Motions cars goes over. First of all, there's the tap from the 23, which is not great. Harry, I'm afraid, needs to look at that. Now, this almost looks like a stunt. It goes over that quickly. You'd say, oh, that would never happen if you saw that in a movie. You'd think they'd fired one of those telegraph poles down. But that curb to the right-hand side there is pretty banked. Watch from the right-hand side as in comes Jim. Over he goes. But look at how the car has stood up. Not only is it sitting on its roof without any deformation of the A, B or C pillars, but he actually opened the door himself and got out. He was able to open the door, so the driver survival cell with the roll cage in there absolutely done its job. So Angel Benitez Jr. has the whole field under his control with the Panamera about to pull off into pit lane. We're going back to green flag racing. Madison Snow just peeking out to driver's right in the 62 car in second place, having a little look there, just making sure that the leader knew he was there. Trust me, he did. It's a great restart by Benitez. He's gapped the field by maybe a car's length, but no, here comes Snow. He's got a really good run off the first corner. Can he use that to his advantage? He's had to go to driver's right really early, and that's not the optimum position to make the pass into the corner, but he might be able to do the old cut back and get alongside. That's what he tried to do, but Benitez was too quick, but further behind. There's a big move down the inside there by the 27 car, I think, coming through.
And Miles Moroney there trying to make a move, dicing side, but wheel to wheel with Craig Durson going through turn 3. The battle for 5th and 6th place.
And a spinner, and it is the number 8 that's gone around. That's the Ellis car, out of 16th position. Lost it going into turn number 3. The leader's already down to the hairpin, Jeremy. And Ashley Freiberg battling with her teammate, the number 41. Those effort racing cars are very easy to pick out with that blue livery. The NGT cars all looking similar as well. You know certainly which team is which, and there's one of the effort cars there just losing a position. That's Sloan Erry, isn't it, who's going backwards a little bit. Or can he hold on to it? No, he has done, as Paul Barnhart in the Kelly Moss Motorsports machine was trying to take the position but had to give best, discretion being the better part of Valor there.
Yeah, and Sloan Erry's moving back up through the field. He started in 8th place. I think he lost a bit of ground early on in that first corner incident, but now he's making his way back toward the front as well. And Paul Barnhart, he's having a good run up inside the top 10.
And Sandberg as well, the 17 car, the 46 car rather, was in 17th position, but he's moved up as well. Remember, he was 32nd after that first lap incident and has been storming back. It's the yellow star and red car that you'll see in the back of the picture. Benitez from Snow, then Mills, Freiberg, Moroney, Dewison, Barnard, Gomez, Urry for the top 9.
Almost in that order. As we see Sloan Erry there looking to the inside of Carlos Gomez coming through turn 17, gets that move down to the inside. A good pass there by young Sloan Erry. Yeah,
and Paul Barnard has fell behind those two, so that was for 7th position, that pass that you've just seen.
Yeah, it was. So he's moved up a couple of places there. Barnhart now back to 9th place. The battle there up the front is still Benitez, Snow and Mills. Ashley Freiberg holding on to 3rd place just from Miles Moroney. The back of this little pack of cars here, we can see Brett Sandberg trying to make some progress. He's on the outside line going into turn 3.
16th position, so he made up one more position on that last lap around, slightly stymied by, of course, now as he gets through the field, Jeremy, he's coming up against faster cars and more capable drivers, so making up 10 positions in 2 laps is not going to be an option for him.
That's absolutely right. There's Miles Moroney really putting the pressure on Ashley Freiberg, and right ahead of those two, Michael Mills just getting catching a bit of the curb there. I think it was in the middle part of the exit to the hairpin.
Moroney having a little look. He's coming from a long way back. He's got to get side by side. He's doing it. He's not quite there, is he? 3/4 of the wheel. But in fairness, that's very good driving and very fair driving by both. Very aggressive by the driver Moroney, who's doing the the passing, but sensible driving by the 51 of Ashley Freiberg. Didn't pressure it, could have made something of it, but they probably would have both ended up on the grass.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly incisive move there from Miles Moroney. He got most of the way alongside, then he was kind of relying on Ashley to give him that space, which he wisely did, but he wasn't really in a position there to make that pass completely. But as you say, excellent driving by both of them there, really heads up, because they could easily have lent on each other and it could have caused a wreck, but they both continued, and Miles Moroney has come up with that position, so he is now up into 4th place, I think, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Sort of got
the 2 effort cars.
Sort of got 3/4 of the job done, and Ashley, I think, realised that there's always a point, isn't there, where you've got to give up the corner if someone's nearly there, and I think that was more, as you say, sensible driving by the young female.
Yeah, and Miles, it's just his 4th weekend in these cars. He had 3 race weekends towards the end of last year, had 1, 2, 3 top 4 finishes in the last 4 races, so he certainly came on strong, having not driven these cars up until then, and this weekend he's been strong as well. Struggled a little bit in some of the practice sessions, but he's coming back stronger and stronger as the weekend goes along.
The more time you get, the better. Hello, this could end in tears, couldn't it?
And there's Sandberg in the middle of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in line coming through turn 3. That yellow and red car.
Yeah, looking at Armando Queiroz, I think, leading that group in the 28 car. Another one of the legion of NGT cars with slightly different liveries. Behind him, the 15, is Casey Kuhlman in the Wright Motorsports machine. That
green and black car is Fred Bourdad. He's on the inside with Sandberg looking to the outside and making a move very nicely. Beautiful. Down into the hairpin on from the outside line. A very good pass there by Brett Sandberg as he continues to fight his way forward in that true speed car.
The all-white car is the Competition Motorsports 10 of Michael Avenatti, who's in that battle as well. He's the 2nd car in line now, and he's trying to hold on to positions, but Sandberg in that red and yellow distinctive colour scheme with the big star on the bonnet is the man on the move in the midfield at the moment, the 46 car. And I did kind of think, looking at that, there's Valentino Rossi runs 46 and often has yellow and red. I wonder if there's anything there, or it's just a sponsorship deal, that yellow and red colour scheme, because it looks very impressive indeed. And the 46 car again trying to have a look down the inside. Brett Sandberg in the True Speeds Motorsport car, which is just about to slide up the inside of Avenatti. No, can't get it done as they come through turn 16, but has got the toe going down the Ullman straight.
Yeah, I think it's Privacy Star, I think, is the sponsor there that True Speed has had for a couple of years. And Brett Sandberg's put a program together, and yeah, they were very impressed with him when he tested with them at the end of last year. And some damage to the front. Oh yeah, there he goes as well. Number 10, that is Michael Avenatti. Some damage to the front splitter on that car, and it showed under braking there at the end of the straight, just pushed on wide, and that allowed Brett Sandberg to move down to the inside and gain another position. Yeah,
I was about to say, we can see some of that damage. There will be more of it, because we can see the white bit of the splitter hanging down. In fact, it's disappeared now completely, but just behind that is a rubber part as well, which is still hanging on there, but that is absolutely crucial to the front aero on the Porsche 997. It's only about an inch or an inch and a quarter wide, but lose that and you're losing an awful lot of how that front end works, and the whole of the left hand side of Avenatti's car is trailing the ground. He's not getting the benefit of the aero, so under braking and turning, particularly to right-handers like at the end of the back straight, he's in trouble. Back to further up the field.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 there. First, Andres Benitez pulled out a bit of a gap now over Madison Snow. Michael Mills in 3rd place, coming under increasing pressure from that number 45 car of Miles Moroney, the 2nd of the True Speed cars, teammate to Brett Sandberg. And Miles Moroney last time around set the fastest lap of the race, a 2 minutes 8.091, a couple of tenths quicker than our race leader.
And this is the battle on the circuit at the moment for the final podium step. I think we can say that Angel Benitez Jr. is going to look perfect this weekend. Well, almost a pole and a front row start, but it's looking at the moment very much like 2 maximum points from the racing, with Madison Snow recovering from his disappointment in the first round here at Sebring to take good points in second. But who will be third, Mills or Moroney? The 41 blue car, or the 45 red, white. Oh, there's been a problem for Madison Snow, who has locked up and lost all of that distance that they had to this battle for third place, and now it becomes any 2 from 3 on the last 2 steps of the podium as we go into the last 3 3/4 miles.
Yes, this is going to get interesting now. If they look into the inside, there is Michael Mills to the inside of Madison Snow at turn 1, not able to make it stick, but Miles Maroney is lurking as well, got a good run through turn 1. Is he going to move to the inside at turn 3? Not quite, because Michael Mills there, he kind of left his car sort of in the middle of the road. There wasn't room for Maroney to dive down to the inside. So heads up driving, I think, from Michael Mills, but under a lot of pressure.
Isn't it amazing how things change? Because a lap or so ago, Miles Maroney would have been thinking, maybe if I can get into the top 5. Oh, hang on, I'm in 4th. Maybe if I can just close the gap to 3rd. And now he's potentially looking at 2nd position, and he obviously knows that he's got those 2 cars right ahead of him. And look how they're being slowed up, because, oh, and at turn 1, there's a big coming together with 1, 2, 3, 4 cars involved, included there the Martin Harvey Winghole Racing 08 car. But let's catch up on that in a moment as we go back to this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th now.
Yeah,
as Ashley has closed right up on them.
She just said her best lap of the race, right on the par with everybody else. Benitez just turned the best lap of the race that time around, a 2:07.8, but the next 3 or 4 all about 2:08 flat or 2:08.1, and Ashley Freiberg really is closing in on this battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th places.
It looks as though Madison Snow has just a little bit of a breathing space between the 2 battling for 3rd position, Mills and Maroney. There's 1 more corner, 1 more opportunity. Ashley Freiberg takes a very, very wide entrance into turn 16 and got the power on super early, trying to get the big draft from the 2 cars ahead, and it's worked, you know. She is just about pulling up inch by inch. Madison Snow in 2nd position, I think, has enough, but it's going to be the 41 and the 45. Mills and Maroney battling it out with Freiberg in the picture now as well as they go through turn 17. Madison Snow lost a lot of ground there last time and hasn't really come through it well. Benitez is 2 from 2 for the weekend, and then it's going to be 4 cars across the line super quickly. It's Snow, Mills, Maroney and Freiberg as quick as you can see it. They are through, and the safety team on the circuit pointing them to the left-hand side of the track because of that incident. In the gold category, looking down as far as 20th position, it's Michael Levitas who's coming through in the 36 car. It's been another good win for him, and he'll do the double here at Sebring as well. Fabulous start to his season here in Florida as he goes 2 for 2 in the gold category.
Yeah, tremendous start for Michael Levitas this weekend. What a tremendous start to his campaign in the Gold Series class, but lots of stars in this race for me. Andres Benitez, a tremendous double victory. Madison Snow, super fast, making up for that disappointment yesterday. Michael Mills, good and consistent. Miles Maroney, very, very strong. But what about Ashley Freiberg? Her debut race in the IMSA GT3 Cup challenge by Yokohama comes away with a 4th and a 5th. That is a remarkably good first time out in these cars.
And if there's an award for the best battler of the weekend, I'm going to give it to, certainly in that race, the 46, Brett Sandberg, who was involved in an incident not of his own making, ended up in 32nd at the end of that first caution, ends the race in 13th position and gets points for that.
It's a great driving with Angel and Madison, and just being able to fight like that. Those 2 guys are so strong right now. Their cars are so strong, and I hope we can, get up there and fight with them the rest of the season.
Just awesome, man. It's a clean lap.
Yeah.
Here are the point standings after rounds 1 and 2 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, which returns at a very different venue, away from the airport feel of Sebring to the rise and fall of Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.